National Institute of Business Management is an institution of higher learning where excellence meets opportunity. NIBM has always been a beacon of knowledge, innovation and empowerment for over 55 years with the mission to nurture its leaders, innovators, thinkers and the creators of tomorrow. Today, we have Dr. D.M.A. Kulasooriya, who is the Director General of the National Institute of Business Management, who has been the stalwart of education in paving the institution's path towards excellence. We also have Professor Sanath Amarathunga with us today, coming all the way from University of Peradeniya to put his global experience onto the table. Today, we would like to talk about a more technology-driven education system. So we have Dr. Kulasooriya to give us a foundation for this discussion on how the technology-driven education system has transformed the traditional learning experience that we have in our classroom. And Doctor, also tell us what sort of advantages do the educators and the students derive out of it?
I would like to touch upon the background of these situations and how we made a change at NIBM learning and teaching systems. And if you looked at, all of us know that during the last 3 to 4, 5 years, and we have been going through a rigorous period after pandemic and economic crisis, and now we are in a new normalcy. And NIBM thought of not going back to the normal situations, but we wanted to create the new normalcy with the experience that we got through the pandemic. During the pandemic period, we introduced this digitalization process, and most of our learners started learning through online, and we developed our digital system as well using our digital campus. So we wanted to get that experience and to advance our courses in a different way using the latest teaching technologies. So that is how we started this. And we introduced OBL management system or outcome-based learning system here at NIBM, and it is not something new, of course. This has been accepted all over the world, or most of the universities in other countries, as well as here in Sri Lanka. So we wanted to, we have designed our courses, of course, based on the learning outcomes and the objectives. But of course, most of the universities here in Sri Lanka and at the same time in some other part of the world, they don't practice this in full, basically because we have got used to the traditional system. As you know, the traditional system is very clear, and we have been doing this in our schools also, and we have given the information, basic information about a particular domain, and then of course what we do is we will have examinations for them to sit for few hours and test their knowledge. And actually what we are doing is we are testing the memory capacity of them, not the knowledge and skills that they have gained. So which is very important for us to change this system and to make sure that without passing or failing students, we would like to see that they are passing through their life. So therefore, we would like to talk about this in a different way, and we thought of introduced this outcome-based learning system in full here at NIBM. So that is how we started, and we are using latest technologies, without which is very difficult for us to do it. And the first thing that we did is we digitalized all our courses. So all the learning content now available in our learning management system. And students can, of course, they can learn things in advance and before coming to the class. So they have a prior learning about what they are going to learn in the classroom. That is the first stage. Second stage is the delivery within the class, which is also very much important nowadays. So that is where they can ask questions, clarify things, and talking about different problems, and they can get they can share their experiences with the faculty members, which is very important. Since we have digitalized all the courses, faculty members have now time to discuss these things in the classroom. So that is how we made it. Then of course, once you have clarified all the questions, the next level is they are applying this concept in real life. So that is how our flipped classroom is made up. So they have the knowledge about the subject before coming to the class. Then the delivery, you ask questions and clarify your concept. Then of course they go back to the industries and apply this and see what the real life experience about the subject that they have learned in the classroom. That is how we have designed. So therefore, our faculty members have enough time to implement this OBS system. Now we are asking all the schools and other universities to implement this, but of course with this particular well designed curriculum, and if you want to give the knowledge, total knowledge, and the time hours are given, so it's very difficult for faculty members to do it, basically because the process is not digitalized properly. That is where we use the right technology to improve the quality of education here at NIBM.
Yes. So with this new normal lifestyle, how do we encourage our learners to be more innovative in their learning process, Professor?
Yes, Shenali, actually now if you think about the development, mainly depend on the technology. So that we have to focus our teaching on technology. Especially if you look at the past, the development of the technology was so slow. So that even in Faculty of Engineering, they had only electrical engineering. But now there are so many fields. So in one's life, it's very hard to learn from beginning to the end of this specialized area. So that the differences of the students, now in the past what we have done is we put all the students into one class and deliver the same content. Now that principle doesn't work. So under NIBM what I have seen is that they have used simple methodologies to identify the capabilities of the students and also given opportunity to learn what they like to learn. Now if you take a simple simple field like say AI, right? So the capabilities of the students to grab this is different. So NIBM is very tactfully handling this part, especially by paying attention to each and every individual's capabilities and their learning skills by changing these teaching methodologies as Dr. mentioned.
So how does these learners adapt into this new development of technology, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence and data science?
Yes, Shenali, now the era is totally different to our days. The students are very fast learners. So we are facing a lot of problems teaching because they are that faster. So that we have to change our strategies and ways of teaching these technologies. So they are born with the technology and they are using those technologies from their very childhood. So that with the very fast changing syllabus, only we can cater to the students. Otherwise, they know better than us now. So we have to be very careful in using these technologies or teaching these technologies to students, because we do not have to teach them from beginning. They are at a certain level. So that from that level onwards, it's how fast we can take them to the peak is the challenge.
So Professor, how do these learners adapt into the new developments of technology, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence and data science?
Yes, Shenali, now the secret of development is the technology. Now we have to go fast behind the technology. Especially we have to make our young generation ready for the technology, and they should be the future of our country, developing technologies for all these comfort that we are today experiencing. Now in this context, the AI, I think we do not know exactly what it will give in the future, but so far what we know is that it's a very good tool. It's a very good tool, but we have to be very careful in handling this tool in a proper way. So we have already identified 3 categories of types of students to grab these technologies. The first category, I would say, they are fast grabbers. So they, whatever new thing comes, they grab it and use it for better purpose. But the second group, as we know, they are using the technology to manipulate it, and not for learning but for just getting their certificate. The third group is the most dangerous. They are refusing the technology. So all these 3 groups are in our classes, so that we have to bring all together into one platform. So that we are already discussing how to handle this problem, especially for to use them, this AI for learning. Then the problem comes for the evaluation. That part already there are some techniques to assess students whether they are using the AI in answering or whether they are using the AI for learning and answering. If they are using it for learning and answering, no problem at all. So NIBM is promoting using AI in a better way. So there are programs for using the technology in the better way in the NIBM.
So Dr. Kulasooriya, based on what Professor just said, what are the challenges that arises when we have to integrate this kind of a technology into our education system?
What Professor Sanath mentioned is very clear. I think there are three categories of learners in a given classroom. So we need to handle this very carefully. We always believe the fact is all the learning tools are very much important for us to learn things. If you take the case of AI will help us to improve the productivity of learning. Of course, you can reduce the time taken to learn things, and of course you can go for different sources. Rather than it's a very clearly it's mentioned this those days, of course, and we give some solutions, and we solve problems and asking to machines to solve. Keep on and continue the same thing. But now we can ask questions from systems and create some solutions for us to then keep on learning by asking the right questions from the system, which is a completely different way of looking at this. Those days we produce solutions and we are giving it to the machine, and machines will continue the same thing. But today the AI, beauty of AI is that we can ask questions and create different concept using it within a short period of time. So that's the beauty of learning using AI. So therefore we are encouraging our students to do it, but at the same time we have AI facilities to check whether they are going through the right process or not. If they are just copying from AI and doing something, that is not a learning process. We are not encouraging that, but we are helping them to use all the type of technologies to make use of it. We have installed advanced AI system in our learning management system, and if they are taking the same content and if they are producing assignments, we can capture and say that you have not done the learning process, but you have just copied to get the grades, which is not the way of learning things. So we need to develop this culture of learning in the minds of students in the years to come. So as you say, your question is, of course, what are the challenges we are having? There is one challenge we are having, and most of the learners just copy things and paste it, because that is what we have, that is how we have trained them in schools. The school learning system, we need to have a change. That is what we have been talking about for a long time. So just memorizing things and putting them onto the papers and testing and say that you fail or pass. And if you devalue in the learning process, what happens is naturally they are trying to get the grades. But if you are appreciating what they are learning, then of course what happens is naturally they will go for learning and enjoy it and get the real true happiness through the education, which is very important in the learning process. It takes time, but I think that is the best of learning also, and we are trying to inculcate these things in the minds of our learners here at NIBM. And we are actually joining with other professors in different universities, national universities, to get this message throughout the country and make sure this country is a place where we can give a better learning experience for our learners and produce very productive citizens who can contribute to the society in general in the years to come.
Professor, based on your global experience, how can we improve the quality of education?
Actually, Shenali, now if you want to teach something to a student, the main thing is the motivation. You cannot force him to learn. So we have to teach him how to learn, not delivering just the subject. So I think you are in a specialized area. As an example, if your father asks you to do engineering, would you? That is the thing. So first we have to identify the student's requirement or what he likes. Then from there onwards is the way forward. So that as teachers, we should be able to understand the capability and the talents of a student. That is also not an easy thing, because sometimes the students do not know to which they like. So as an institute, NIBM, there are so many ways of identifying students, the selection, what they like. And then they are offering large number of subjects, not like our days we have only physics, chemistry, botany, and if you go to engineering faculty there are only 8 departments. Now it's not. So the areas are developed into so many lines, so that every student, if he say I like to do this, there is a line to go and there is a way forward, he can achieve high level in that very specific area. Now the challenge in giving the content that he need is the time. We cannot teach the student from beginning to the end because there is not enough time, it is so specific. So the NIBM, they have a plan to start with the students, I mean the capabilities, I mean with the differences of individuals. In one class there are say 15 students. So their level of the level of the capability of grasping and also the talents are different. So we are somehow creating or catering to individual students, not as a bulk average classroom. That is our approach.
Speaking of differences of individuals, the capabilities and the thinking patterns differ from person to person. Dr. Kulasooriya, what do you think about the new thinking patterns of our younger generation?
Yeah, our younger generation is, completely different from adults like us, and they are going through, nice process of learning. And when you looked at, their qualities are completely different. As I said, I have been talking about this for a long time. And new generation, we call it a Gen Z, and now they are in universities and they are getting into the industries, and Gen Alpha is coming into the system of schooling and all that. So if you looked at the Gen Z and their capabilities in technology is superb, and we are also learning from them. And at the same time, if you looked at the Gen Alpha, the next generation, the youngest generation, and their university will be their mobile phone, smartphone, the laptop, and probably all the technologies are given, and they are very much tech savvy, and they will learn things from using the learning technologies probably without coming into schools and universities. That's the challenge we are having. We need to create a better learning environment for them to enjoy their life going through the learning process. So if we don't create proper learning environment for young generation, they won't join us. And you can see now this time A-levels, and the government also decided, looked at the attendance at 40%. What is the reason? And many of them have not gone to schools for their A-levels. And they are having different platforms. And maybe outside, probably YouTubes, and with the various teachers are having, not only here in Sri Lanka, some other countries also. They are learning, we using the universal technologies. So therefore, it's very difficult for us to confine into classroom and say that you will stay here 3 hours, 6 hours and go through the learning process. Same thing in the industries also. I think most of the CEOs, they have not understood properly the young generation. And they say that they are not loyal. True, they are not loyal if the conducive environment is not there in the industries also. And they are not working for just for the sake of working. They would like to contribute, and they would like to be a part of it, and they should be get themselves engaged, and they should be able to take decisions. And if they are given the proper responsibilities, and if they are well appreciated, and they will work for you. And and they are looking at the true happiness of their life, not like us. And we are very much loyal. Even the boss is not doing good, and we are supposed to work with him. But now we have seen in industries also, most of the these new guys are leaving the organization, just not because of the organization, but because of the leaders.
So with this new mindset of our learners, how do we create this kind of an atmosphere for them to enjoy their learning environment?
Yes, Shenali, actually the young generation, what they have seen is totally different to what we have seen. So they like comfortable environment for learning. We have to create the comfortable environment, not only the physical comfort, the mental. So, for that main thing is the reading of the minds of the students. So, we should be able to, as teachers, read the mind of the students. As teachers, our duty is not to deliver the content. Now, as Dr. Kulasooriya said, content is everywhere. They know how to grab the knowledge or the content. But our duty is to guide them how to learn. So, for that physical comfort should be there. If it is too hot and if the dirty environment, they won't learn, they don't like, not like our days. So, we have to mainly create good physical environment where NIBM, I think, facilitating that part better than any other institute in Sri Lanka I have seen, right. Now, the second part is the mental condition that we have to create inside them for learning. So, they are coming from different backgrounds, different families, different economic conditions, but after coming to the NIBM, we are there to take them to a good mental status where they are free of all the other problems, and we guide them and we motivate them for their education.
That's amazing, Professor. So, Dr. Kulasooriya, based on what Professor said, how do we inculcate true happiness into our learners' life through the high technology that we have?
I think this life is basically a choice, as Professor said, and we need to create, large number of choices for them to select based on their talents. Then of course they start learning, and in the process of learning, you get the feeling that you are developing your personality. You know, when you get the real personality into your life, and you get the feeling of happiness, that is number one. Second thing is, and you get the feeling of that you know about how to understand things around the world. So, when you understand things, you develop your personal image. You get the feeling of that you are valued in the society, and you can contribute to different issues in the country, in general, in the classroom, in different settings. So, as a result, and that is what we do, it's not just a certificate, but we are adding value to their life. That is what we do. So, when you have a degree, and when you have a master's, when you have PhDs and some experience, you get the feeling that you are well valued in the society. So, that will be a major source of happiness of your life. And third things, of course, most important thing nowadays is very common, and we call this a social capital, which is also important. You got generally connected with the world, and you are in LinkedIn, you are in social media and various platforms, and you can contribute to the development of the society in general as a great learner in that particular domain. So, what happens is naturally, and you are connected. So, as a result, people also start appreciating. So, when then of course, again it's a one source of happiness, and while you are doing all these things, you develop your professionalism in your life, and finally, when you develop your professionalism in your life in a particular domain, what happens is naturally the money will come after you, and we should not tax the money at the beginning, but when you do things, when you are engaging in the activities of a learning process, what happens is society will value you and pay you at the right level. As a result, you can enjoy your life. So, that is how things are coming up through education. That is what we say, your true happiness is within you. Nobody can give you your happiness, and some people think that that can be taken from someone else, but it is yours happiness that really comes from the true education. So, that is the reason as to why NIBM working hard to make sure that we are creating nice environment for our learners to build up their capabilities. As a result, they are well connected with the world, and they will design their global life with the support of social media and various connectivities. And finally, and they have a very productive life, and parents can be happy, and learners can be happy, and finally the whole family will be happy, basically because we are thriving into the next level of our life. So, that is how you can achieve your true happiness through education. So, therefore, we are encouraging our learners to go through this process, and that is the reason as to why we introduced this outcome based learning system here at NIBM. I hope that the future learners will enjoy it, and finally they will become very productive citizens in the country.
I think NIBM is definitely heading towards a brighter future to create global citizens in our country. So I want to thank both of you for joining this discussion today and for making your time to come and create awareness about how we have inculcated the high technological advancements that are taking place in this world for the NIBM education system. So thank you.